Hi, welcome back to the IceFlower Crochet podcast. This is my summer holiday vlog number 1. I've already been on holiday for 5 days, but they sort of got away from me. But I have been taking little videos here and there that I'll add after this. So my name is Vicky. I'm IceFlower Crochet on Facebook and Instagram, and on Ravelry I'm IceFlowerVicky. So in the last episode, I hadn't actually done a lot of crochet. That has improved slightly, but not an awful lot. So in the last episode, I talked a lot about walking, I talked a lot about gardening, because the weather was so good, it was too good an opportunity to miss, and I was out a lot. That was June and the beginning of July. And then about 10 days ago, somebody switched summer on, and we have high humidity, and so it's 80 plus humidity. Not as high as Honshu, so the Honshu people who are watching this will laugh at me, and it's around 30 degrees at the moment. So for me, I find that too hot and too humid for gardening, and also it's bug season. We get horrible little black buyur, they're called, they're gnats, but when they bite me I have an allergic reaction and it makes me really ill, and there's all hairy bugs, and yesterday, the day before yesterday, I was gardening. Some of that video clip might get in, and there was an Asian hornet. They're about that big, they have bright orange faces, and it was bumping along the back of our house looking for somewhere to make a nest, and it really didn't like me being there, and it kept buzzing around me, so I ran away, came in, and that was the last gardening I've done. So let's talk about crochet, shall we? So I've got 2 things on the go at the moment. This is a hat, which I fastened it off. I'd forgotten about that. So the hat is finished, and it's going to be a wild boar. So I've got to do ears and tusks and eyes and a nose and things. So yeah, I would like to be able to tell you that's done in the next episode. Yeah, I'd forgotten I'd finished that off, so that's further ahead than I thought it was. And then the other thing is a blanket, which is proving hard work in this season. This is quite big now, look. And it's just a giant solid granny square. And it's acrylic, it's just boring. So this is Stylecraft Special in the greys. This is graphite, and that one is grey. And I've got lots of that. And then the 3 colours, I can't remember what they are. I bought them in my last wool warehouse order to see what they were like. This one is, I think that might be King Cole Sprite, but don't quote me on that. And that was a new Signet one, and this one was something else new. I don't like this one. I love the colours are really nice, but it's fuzzy, so I suspect that it wouldn't hold up against pilling very well. It's all right at the moment, but of course, but this Signet one, Prism I think it's called, this one's really nice. It's very slightly thinner than the other DK though, but it makes nice colour changes, and this one is really nice. This one's soft and slightly fuzzy, but it's not pilly. So I've only got that much left. I'm doing 1 round in each colour and then changing. So I might or might not get 1 more round out of each. I've got that much grey, and I've got that much of the graphite. I might have 1 more of those. So I'm just going to go until I run out of yarn, and then I shall do a grey border, probably just 2 rows or something, and maybe crab stitch round or nothing, you know, just a single DC. I don't think, it's not a frilly blanket, is it? I'm not a frilly person. I don't know. I don't like frilly borders, or I do, but I get impatient with them. Anyway, this is plain enough that it just needs finishing, really. So, and I'd like to have it finished. I haven't had any finished objects for ages now, which is depressing. So I want my Crochet back. So that's that. Yeah, so this is day 5 of my summer holiday. This is long sleeves, but it's gauze, it's linen gauze, because it's too hot. Yes, so I've not walked very much, as I said. I've done loads and loads of jam making, as you will see. So I've had a really lucky garden year for my raspberries. I've had over 7 kilograms of raspberries, which I was picking and putting in the freezer. So I've made raspberry chutney, seedless raspberry jam. I did 2 batches. I did raspberry vinegar, and which is still, the fruit is still soaking, but then it needs draining and boiling. So I'll do that in the next few days. And I made a raspberry alcohol with sugar and raspberries and white liquor, and that will take 6 months or so to mature. So I've got some videos of that process, which I shall show you, and I think that's it for now. I think what I need to do is just put together the little videos that I've taken and then see how it looks. So I'm going to go away now and see you in a bit. Bye for now. Hi, it's I don't know what day it is. I think it's July the 20th. It's Saturday. I'm red and hot because it's been a very hot day, and so I had a shower because I went shopping to buy stuff to make some raspberry shu, which is umeshu is plum wine, a Japanese plum wine, and usually make that in the spring. But I have got I've got about 1 kilogram of raspberries, a bit less, and I've spread them out on some paper towels, and I'm just picking through. Because it's been raining, some of them were a bit mouldy, and I don't want any mould in it. Although the alcohol is 35%, so I think it'll kill anything quite easily. And you don't really want wet fruit, so I haven't bothered washing it. I only picked these this afternoon, so they don't need washing. So this is the alcohol. And so the next thing is that you do, you need rock sugar. There, see? There's my jar. So you put in fruit, and I should have opened the rock sugar before I put it in. I don't mind if it's too sugary, because I think it, you know, it's another anti-fungal thing. So you just, oh, there's a little worm there. Goodbye, worm, I don't want to drink you. This is the alcohol. And you just pour it all in. And then just put it in a dark place. Got to be covered, so I'll just do that there. How pretty is that? And I've got to make sure that the fruit is always covered by alcohol, so I'll keep an eye on it. So that'll take about 3 months for everything to dissolve, and then after that the alcohol flavour is really raw, and it's better if you leave it for about a year and it gets more and more mellow as time goes on. So that's a really good photograph, isn't it, of nobody? But my husband's just sent me a message saying, can you pick me up at the station? So I've got to go. So bye. Bye. So I'm back again after picking them up from the station. I've got this many raspberries left, which is about 550 grams, but I've got to pick them over, and I'm going to do raspberry vinegar. So I'm disappearing out of shot again. Okay, so I've got everything. This is 500 millilitres of apple vinegar and sugar, which I need to weigh out in a pot. So I just need all of that. All the fruit in. That's just to take the heat off. Oh, it's very vinegary. it's not too hot. Right, that can stay till it's cool. It's beautiful already, isn't it? Look at that. And this is the alcohol. That's what, an hour and a half ago? It's already very pink. The sugar's already pink. And the liquor is already pink. Right, so that's that. I shall just clean up now and get ready for lots of jam making tomorrow. Hi, I still can't work out how to get into the screen and have this all on display. So I'm going to make chutney today. So I've started cutting up the onion and I need to do some apples. It's really hot today, so it's not the day to be jamming things, but whatever. I might just put 2 apples in. I'll see how much one weighs first. So I've got 1 courgette that I picked up at, in our local co-op, but it's like a local farmers market section, and that was $1.50, or I don't know how much in English pounds. It's easier to do dollars, but anyway, far too much. But and it's not in the recipe, but you know, it's chutney-ish, so I'm going to put it in. Since Costco came, my food life has improved. So $3.50. But this was $10, so I don't know how that compares to America. But yeah, food is expensive here. So that's everything in. I had a phone call in the middle of my last video, so I just chopped everything while I was talking to my son. So there's a courgette, a big onion, 2 apples, a bag of raspberries, which were about 1 kilogram, but I think they were 900 grams or something. Chutney doesn't really matter. There's a 500 milliliter bottle of cider vinegar in it. If I need more, I'll put it in. There's 700 grams of brown sugar. What else did I put in? The spices are fresh grated ginger, and then dry ginger, and cinnamon, mustard seed, cloves, and chili pepper. Now, I wasn't sure about doubling the spices. This recipe is sort of like between 2 and 3 times the one that I got the idea from, and I decided that that's probably enough. Have a look, see? So that's like 1 amount's worth of spices. So I think I'm just going to say that's okay for now. I don't want my phone to fall into the pot. That would be awful, wouldn't it? I'd have a raspberry flavoured phone forevermore. So with chutney as well, you're not waiting for it to gel like you do with jam. You just boil it down until it's the consistency that you want. Oh, it smells good. Oh, it smells good. As soon as you get raspberries out, you get that lovely sunshiny smell. But as soon as they start cooking, and then chutney doesn't smell of anything special until you put the spices in, and then it's just heavenly. So this is what it looks like after about 15 minutes boiling, and I just need to reduce it. Okay, so the chutney is more or less done. It's quite wet still, and I don't think it's going to thicken up much more. But the seeds are beginning to, you know, get a bit hard, so I don't want them to get a burnt flavour, and they don't have that at the moment. Look, drips. Right, well that'll be the first one I open, because it's not completely full.
My husband came home from work that night and he said he felt like eating a pork bowl, which is in this really old little prefab hut a couple of miles down the road from us. So we walked out there in the lovely golden evening and had very delicious pork and then walked back. So the next morning I got up early with my husband and we went out together. So these are just some early morning rainy flowers in my garden. That is a wild carrot and it's a weed, but it's so pretty I let it stay. There's garden phlox and roses. The roses are coming to the end of their tether now really, but this red one goes on for the whole season and it's absolutely gorgeous. And the balloon flowers have started blooming. So my husband dropped me off on his way to work a few kilometres away from home and I walked back. But it was raining quite hard, as you can see. That's one of the local temples. The wheat is ready to cut, but obviously couldn't be cut that day. It was too rainy. And this is another wheat field. But it was a nice walk. And then I picked a whole load more raspberries and made seedless raspberry jam. Do you think that's going to set? This is raspberry jam seedless raspberry jam. It's beautiful. So the first day I just slept an awful lot and I also went to visit a friend who'd been on holiday in Japan and was going home. And then the second day, yesterday I stripped our bedroom out and cleaned it from top to bottom, washed the curtains, flipped the mattresses, everything. The only thing I didn't do was sort out the wardrobe, but it doesn't really need doing. And I also, it was very humid yesterday, hot and humid. What else did I do? I went shopping a bit. I can't remember, I did loads. Oh, and I made jam. I made seedless raspberry jam and it's set up beautifully. So I've got some black currants in the freezer and I was going to do black currant and orange today. Ooh, this is sticky. But I've just been out in the garden. I'm just washing this pot because it's sticky. I've just been out in the garden before it rains. It keeps raining at the moment. We're in the middle of the rainy season, which we're not supposed to have in Hokkaido, but we do. And I've got even more raspberries. So I'll put some water in that and get it going. And then I'm going to sieve them because I don't like just a minute, I always switch our gas off at the stopcock because of earthquake risks. Change of plan. I don't have enough sugar, but they need boiling anyway. And yesterday, this batch, I boiled it and then actually I left them overnight, and I wonder if that helped the set because they set beautifully. Raspberry jam usually does, but the seeds had time to steep. So I think I'll just boil these down and then I'll have to go shopping.
Yeah, I could have sworn I had more sugar than that. For dinner tonight I want to do minestrone soup, so I think I'll do that. So I thought we need more vegetables in our life at the moment, so I'm going to do a minestrone soup for dinner, and I've got some fish in the freezer, and then that'll do for lunch for tomorrow as well. This is what I hate about Japan. Why does pepper have to be wrapped up? Like, why do we have to have plastic? Everything. And the woman tried to put my celery stick into a plastic bag and I said no. But the rest are all pre-wrapped, so you just can't avoid it. If you're trying to avoid plastic at this season, you can just about eat cabbage and that's it. So vegetables are never cheap, and it's expensive to eat well here. These were cheap. These little mushrooms, but again, plastic wrap. You can't get them without plastic. That's the minestrone doing its thing. And that's the raspberries doing their thing. I'll give that for like 5 more minutes and then I'll switch it off. The raspberries can probably go off now. And then I need to go shopping for some sugar. This is the rainy season in Japan, so usually it's from mid-June to early July. But this year it started very late, really the last few days in June, and it's now the end of July and it's still going on. And the sky just looks like that all the time, and even when it's just cloudy, it's nearly 100% humidity, 80-90%. Blech, it's horrible. But then again, when it starts to get hot, when the rainy season's over, it'll get really, really hot. So I don't know which is worse, really. Happy rainy season walking.
On Saturday we decided to drive to Costco in the early evening, and we saw this really scraggy fox on the way. It wasn't very healthy, I don't think. Had a nice sunset as we went down the road towards Costco. It's a bit of a drive, but it's worth going. And despite us having the healthy soup the day before, we ruined it that day. But I did bring back lots of vegetables, so I feel all right. And then in the rest of the evening, I did more crochet. So Sunday, summer did set in earnest. It was sunny and really hot. My husband slept all morning, I slept all afternoon, but I did get the blackcurrant and orange jam done, and I also did carrot and ginger soup, which was nice and refreshing. And then in the evening we decided that we wanted a cold beer, so that's what we did. We went by train to the next stopover and had a very nice meal, and then we decided that we'd walk all the way home, which was 5 kilometres. But that was just the right amount of time to wear the beer off, so I feel that we had a good time. So today I decided that the floors needed mopping. The windows have been open for days on end and everything's very dusty. So that was nice to have it good and fresh again. And then I made a roast vegetable salad for dinner. I roast everything in the morning and escaped from the kitchen, and then we had it on a bed of lettuce tonight, and it was really good.
So I'm walking. It's a little bit windy, which is nice. I don't think you're going to be able to see me because the street lights are a bit few and far between here. I wanted to come out and have a walk because I couldn't go out today. It was too much. And it's still 26 degrees, which is 79 Fahrenheit for Ali, because I just heard that you can't do Celsius. So there you are, there's your Fahrenheit. And it's 82% humidity. So it feels like I'm chewing the air. Oh, I'm completely dark now.